All-nighters. So before I proceed, let me address what an all-nighter is for those of you who don't know but still decided to click on this video. An all-nighter is simply an act performed at night. An act performed when your ex is peacefully snoring and you're still awake because you're trying to figure out why the universe would let such a person exist. An act performed when your ex, okay, that's enough. An all-nighter is a brilliant, healthy activity where students trade sleep for temporary confidence. An evidence-based method of spiritually connecting with the birds outside because neither of you sleep. Because apparently, deadlines build courage. Now, you might be wondering, why should someone subject themselves to such punishment? Well, it all depends on your personal reasons. So, all-nighters, should you do them? You better not. Well, you need to decide whether you're going to do it or not. But personally, I don't recommend pulling an all-nighter. Well, simply because an all-nighter will just give you what we call sleep debt. Basically, imagine student loans, but worse. But it also depends on your situation, age, time, gender, equality, so I created a simple advanced decision tree to help you decide with that decision. The first decision tree is for those under the age of 16. For those under the age of 16, ask yourself, do I need to do an all-nighter? Well, obviously it's a no, because when you're at that age, you don't have any responsibilities. So basically what I'm trying to communicate here is that you're like a son of a bee. The next decision tree is for those who are students. So for those who are students, you need to ask yourself, do I have a major exam tomorrow? If your answer is no, knock yourself out and have a nightmare about living a lonely life. But if the answer is yes, ask yourself, did I study for the exam? Well, if the answer is yes, don't do an all-nighter. But if the answer is no and you didn't study, then ask yourself, okay, but do I have at least a grasp of the topic of the test? If the answer is yeah, kinda, then don't do an all-nighter. But if you have no idea what the test is about, ask yourself, well, did you really not study anything about your test? If the answer is no, don't do an all-nighter. But if the answer is yes, well, good luck staying awake through the exam. And finally, for those who have work and jobs, ask yourself, do I have any work that needs to be submitted tomorrow morning? If the answer is no, sit down and reflect about why you're still broke. But if the answer is yes, ask yourself, does my boss like me? Now that you've answered that question, ask yourself once again, do I really need this job? If the answer is no, then don't do an all-nighter. And if you need the job, you need to ask yourself, do I have dignity? And if the answer is yes, then I give you the green light to pulling an all-nighter. Just make sure you have enough sleep after submitting your work. But if you said no to that question, now that you've decided not to do an all-nighter, put your phone down and get some sleep. Oh, and I forgot to mention that doom scrolling is the easiest way of pulling an all-nighter. For those of you who want to experience what it's like to have sleep debt. Let me know in the comments below what your craziest reason for doing an all-nighter was. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a good sleep.